It was just a normal afternoon on patrol in a marked police vehicle. We headed onto the Pendle estate in Lidlands, where there's always problems with kids. And as soon as you come onto the estate on your right-hand side, there's a row of shops. And at the side of the shops, there's an alleyway, which runs between the shops and some houses. As soon as I came onto the estate, I observed a male in the alleyway, and I could see he was pacing up and down. He was looking around, he was clearly agitated, and I knew that there was something not right. So it was at that point that I alighted the police vehicle. I made my way to the alleyway, and when I got there, the male had gone out of sight. So I made my way to the top of the alleyway, and when I got there, I looked to my left, and I could see the male leaning into the rear of a shop. My initial thought was he was stealing something. So I walked around the rear of the male, and I can see his arm outstretched with a firearm in his hands. It's a handgun, a black handgun. I can see a member of staff inside, and he's pointing the gun at that member of staff. It's at that point that the male's become aware of my presence. He's turned and looked at me, and I've immediately taken hold of him. And there's been a struggle. The male was about 6'2", 6'3". He was a young lad, but he was quite a large build, and we struggled for about a minute. And during that time, I kept shouting to him to drop the firearm. Eventually, he dropped the firearm inside the shop, and it was at that point that I dragged him away from the doorway, and I managed to get him pinned up against the wall and get him handcuffed. I had two choices, basically. It was turn and run or deal with the situation. I'm not going to turn my back on somebody with a gun in their hands. You know, I've got an opportunity to deal with it there and then, and I dealt with it the best way that I felt I could have done. You do look back on it at the time. I mean, I know people say it all the time, but you don't think about it at the time. You just deal with the situation that's at hand. If I'm honest, I thought about it later, and it did cross my mind that it could have gone very wrong. Yeah, my life was probably in danger at some point, but at the time, you're just doing your job and you just deal with the situation.